Ooh. There we are. Had to find my camera. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Saturday's edition of Quilts in Italy. And oh my goodness, it always seems like I have last minute things I'm trying to get done before I go live. And that's all good because, well, that's just how it happens sometimes. Now then, what I was getting ready to do, I am going to swap out my stitch plate to my straight stitch plate, and I am on the Solaris today. So, get this one taken off, raise that all the way up, and it is. Okay, and we'll swap it over to my straight stitch plate just because I can. Oh, okay. I had to restart my machine. You're supposed to turn your machine off when you do this, and I did not do it. So now we're doing it. But it's all good. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Vanessa. Hi, Pamela. How are y'all doing today? Good to see you. Okay. There, I have my I have my straight stitch plate all attached, and I'm dropping it in a bobbin now. And let's see here. We're gonna do sewing. Okay. And I've been embroidering today, so I'm leaving my embroidery arm attached to my machine for this episode. Well, we're going to be doing some piecing today on our project. Let me grab that book. So today's episode of Quilts in Italy, this is a K Facet book, and if you've been following along, you know that we are doing the cool zigzag quilt, which is this one right here. And this is what we are going to be piecing today. We have all these 60-degree diamonds cut, and it is time to sew them into rows and then sew the rows together. Have all my pieces cut right here. I'm going to swap my camera. Hi, Alyssa. There we go. I'm going to back it out a little bit. I have to organize my pieces yet. And I did cut some new ones. I was going to use these. This is all Tula Pink fabric that I'm using. So I had originally planned on using this, but I swapped it out for this one instead. That was just going to be too dark for for my project, but at least I felt it was. Because it would have been the darkest fabric in the whole kit, and I don't think it would have looked just quite right. Let's see here. Those are all set. I have my straight stitch, and I am using the straight stitch plate, and I am using this foot. This is strictly a straight stitch 1/4 inch piecing foot. Let's see here, get that back, you can see it there. Oops, put a piece of fabric in behind it, you can see it better probably. There we go. There we go, that's what we're using. Get that put back on the machine. Now what I have to do, I have to organize my pieces first, everybody, before we start sewing. Have me some bobbins wound, and we'll leave them up here so they're easy access. Okay, so right now I'm going to get all my fabric organized into its piles. I may have to cut a few more of these pieces yet. We'll find out more towards the end of the day. I'm going to be on for at least 2 hours. We'll see where I'm at in 2 hours and all that fun stuff. When I picked these up at the end of last week's episode, I have not had time to do anything with this project until right now, everybody. It's been crazy busy. So I'm just going to get my pieces organized and straightened up, and that'll make the actual It will make the actual piecing go so much quicker if everything is nice and tidy and organized the way it should be. Okay. This will just take a second here, or two, or three. Hey, we got plenty of time. Gonna have fun today and piece on our quilt top. I really do enjoy doing this. I've been doing a lot of embroidery this last week, making samples, and I did something today I haven't done in forever. I embroidered a tea towel, and it's on flour sack material. It is really super cute. And it's just, sometimes it's nice to go outside of the box of what you normally do. I haven't had time to do much embroidery for quite a while, and I've just made time to do some of it, and it is so enjoyable to do. I have forgotten how much I enjoy doing that, everyone. Okay. So there are 14 rows going down this quilt, and there's 11 diamonds going across. So we have 11 rows to piece in a vertical fashion. Once I get these straightened out, I'm going to bring that book back out again and explain how this is pieced together. Ooh, I had these in a mess, everybody. Goodness. Woohoo. If you recall last week, I had these laid out on the table to kind of preview what they would look like and all that fun stuff, and I knew I should have taken time that night to straighten all this up, because now we see what's happened. I'm doing it at the last minute, but that's okay. That's part of the fun of quilting and being creative. And here, when I get this finished sorting off of my lap, I'm actually going to show you my little tea towel I just finished literally 15 minutes ago. Yeah, I have it over here on my other table. So how has everybody's week been? Yes, Tracy, it is a wonderful way to spend a Saturday. Hi, Alyssa. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Vanessa. Hi, Janelle. Oh, thank you, Janelle. Yeah, so the quilt in the book was all done with Kaif fabric, and I didn't have enough Kaif fabric without buying a whole lot more just for that quilt. But I do have a fairly large Tula Pink stash, so I decided to make my version of it out of my Tula Pink fabrics. Okay. Now then, there's that. But what I'm talking about right here. Okay, so this is what the finished quilt looks like in the book. And all the cutting, if you're making one, some of you I know have bought the fabric from the book to make this. Here's the list of fabric right here. And it gives wonderful cutting instructions on page 92 of how many diamonds to cut from each one of these fabrics. Oh, wonderful, Alyssa. Oh, hi, Trudy. Oh, wonderful, Trudy. It is hot and muggy here where I'm at. It is so hot. But as you can see on this layout, you piece the rows vertically from the top to the bottom, and then you sew those rows together. This is what we're going to be doing today. Okay. So, there's that. Now then, unfortunately, I did not keep these in the order I had wanted to set them all together. Duh. But I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that will give me, I will need to make 14 rows. So 2 of these would be per row. So that'd be 4 rows times 3, and then 2 more rows underneath it for the 14. Okay. So let's see here. I am going to, what do I want at the very top? I'm going to do this. Let me see here. Maybe those 2 there. That one. And this one here. So there's 1, 2. Then I think 3, 4. Then 2 busy ones on the end. No, that's not going to work for me. So I'm going to bring this down and put this one up here maybe. Let me think. No, I want those 2 together right there. Maybe. Let's see. How would that one look up there? There. Okay. Oh, we're getting there now, everybody. Do I want those 2 together or those 2 together? And then here's going to be my row number 4 are these 2. Okay. Okay. I'm going to move some mice out of the way so I have a little bit of space right here to lay these out. So what I've got, let me back that up some more. You can see what I'm doing. You can see my mess over there. That's okay. It is what it is. So this is row, we're talking horizontal rows. This one up here, this is 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. Okay. But I have to piece it in this direction. So I'm first going to use this first stack because this will be like 1A, 2A, 1B, 2B, 2, you get it. I'm going to be working these down all the way down first. You'll see what I'm going to do here. Okay. So I'm going to set this right up here. I'm going to set my box of bobbins over here to the side. I'm going to take my end pieces out. This is row 1. Okay. So I'm going to need to do this. Make sure I got these in the right orientation. Pretty sure that's correct. Yes, it goes up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay. And so it's going to go right here. So I got, look at it this way. 1, 2, I'm going to number the stacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one is all even numbers, and then the next one will be all odd numbers, and I'll repeat them like that. Okay? So I'm going to turn on, since I'm on this machine, I'm going to turn me on a grid. And let's see here. I'm going to quarter inch, that's what I want. I think that'll be good. But I want to black that out right there. So let me turn my projector on. I think that's where I can do it. Yes, right there. So we go. So what I just did there, I used my stylus. I have the projector controls on here, so you can just use that stylus actually. Lay it on top of the area you want to adjust, and when you click that, that's what I did. I turned it off. I can also preview stitches, adjust stitch width, stitch length, and all that fun stuff. Needle position. So cool. Now then, I have all of those, my settings set. Okay, put that back on there. Have all my settings set. So next is the fun part. I get to start piecing my vertical rows together. Okay, so those two will go like that. Now I'm going to turn my little projector back off. And I kept my my guidelines for piecing, my 1/4 inch guidelines. Okay. And the way you're going to do this, you're going to overlap. So I get it set here. I'm going to pull it up. There should be about a 1/4 inch sticking past each end where I just place those two diamonds together. Okay? Where they make a V, the two fabrics make a V like in a valley, that's where your needle should enter the fabric. Okay, then if not, you can adjust that piece either down or up to make that happen, and you'll end up with a perfect 1/4 inch seam that way. Okay. There we go. It's time to take the shoes off because I like to sew barefooted. I ought to call my channel the Barefoot Sewer. That would be way more accurate. Let's see. Hi, Molly. Hi, Gail. Good to see you, everybody. Here we go. Let's get our first stitches going. Everybody, I am going to press these seams open, but after I get all my rows made, that's when I'm going to do that. Okay? I'm not going to do it as I'm piecing. Okay, so there's that one. Let's get that pivot turned back on. There we go. Okay. But yes, that is a perfect 1/4 inch seam. The way you can tell when you open it up, those raw edges, see how they are just forming a nice straight line across? That's how I know I got my mitering done perfectly. There we go. Okay, so that's fabric 1 and fabric 3. Okay, 3, 4. There's number 5. Here was be number 5. Hi, Carol. Hi, Teresa. Teresa, I have my stitch length set on 2 right now. Is where it's set at. You can set it to 1.8. I sometimes do that. However, on this one, I set it on 2 just in case I make a boo-boo, and this will be a little bit easier to rip. But it'll be just fine at 1.8 or 2 millimeters. Okay. Then so there we go. There's 3 pieces. There is number 1, number 3, and that would be number 5. So this will repeat every 4 rows the way I have this figured out. So this is number 7 right here, this stack of fabric. There's my number 7 fabric. Okay. And once you get the knack of how to layer that, it goes really quickly. And these are not tiny pieces either. I thought about making one with much smaller pieces, but you know what? Bigger pieces mean you get it done earlier, and that's always a good thing. Okay. There we go. So there's one unit with 4 pieces. Let me back this out a bit again. There we go. Right here. See how nice and straight those edges are? That means it'll sew together oh so super nicely. Okay, so now I'm just going to repeat this 2 more times, because then that would give me 12, because in the book here, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. If we count nothing but the 60-degree diamonds, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then the 2 little end pieces to square off the ends. So there's 14 horizontal rows. There's 11 up and down rows. So whatever your odd-numbered fabrics are, the way I'm doing it, there would be 6 of them, and even numbers, there would be 5 per row. God, I hope that made sense. It did. We're all good. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to piece 2 more units like this. But yes, I will have many more to do than just that. So let's see here. I'm going to take my even numbered stacks, and I'm going to stack them in the order to which they will be sewn. So that's number 2. This would be number 4, 5, 6, number 6, and then 7 and 8. Okay, these are the ones I'm not sewing right now. Okay, so I need 6 rows of 14 diamonds for the pieces I'm doing right down here. Let me open this up, and it'll just explain it much easier, I think. So right here, you can see I have my 4 stacks: fabric 1, 3, 5, and 7. I have 8 stacks total. Those are my odd numbered stacks. Remember this stack here, this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 4 stacks here, numbered 2, 4, 6, 8. So what I'm going to do, for each horizontal row, there'll be 3 pieces like this, and then 1 piece with just 2 to that. So I end up with a total of 14 going up and down. Okay. So I now know by looking at that, these 2 rows here, I'll repeat at the very bottom of my quilt. Gosh, I hope that made sense. Anyway, that's what I got worked out in my head. That's how I'm going to do it. So, how's everybody doing? Because I'm about ready just to start piecing and just piece, 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 piece. Okay. And let's see here. Is that right? Right there like that. Okay. For those of you that joined just a few minutes late, what I'm doing, I've put in my straight stitch needle plate on my machine, and I'm using a 1/4 inch straight stitch piecing foot today. Something I haven't used that foot for a very long time. But, so you know what? I could actually start chain piecing these stacks. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm actually going to attach this back and I'm just going to chain piece all that I have cut of these two fabrics together. Okay, I think I will not get as easily confused as I would otherwise. I can't even talk. Oh my goodness. It's been a while. I'm gonna have to, when I take a break, everybody, I'm gonna go make coffee. Yeah, so I haven't had much coffee today. That's not a good thing, trust me. Okay. I do not operate well on low caffeine. That's just the way it is. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to piece the entire 2 stacks of these I have cut of those 2 fabrics together. Every single one of them. Okay. Like that. Like that. And there we go. You know, you yourself will find your own rhythm, and it's really not that difficult to do. A person could completely make this out of scraps, but boy, howdy, you'd really have. And this is confusing enough for me. Using just set fabric, I guess scraps would be okay. You would just put them in a pile and just start grabbing and sewing them together, right? That would be cool. Okay. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. Lucky you. I bet you went to Hancock's. Yes, Tracy, it's always a good thing to do chain piecing. That's for sure. Hi, Kathy. Good evening. Yeah, chain piecing, if you can break a project up into different groups of chain piecing, it just seems like, well, you're going to make fewer boo-boos. At least that applies to me anyway. Alrighty. Do. Vanessa, I have not been to Paducah since the pandemic started. And it is about time to pay Paducah a visit. I am planning on being there next year for Quilt Week. Those are my current plans. I have other obligations for the fall Paducah show. But I always like to go to the AQS Quilt show. It's one of my favorites. One of my all-time favorite shows to go to. Now let me think here for a minute. Yes, this is correct. That is correct. I thought, wait a minute, there's an odd number of these horizontal. No, it'll all work out. It'll all work out, Richard. It's all good. And what I'm doing, I got my bobbin box out because I have some bobbins that are like half empty or only I got a quarter amount of thread on them. So when I'm piecing, that's a good time to empty up and use partially used bobbins to piece with. That's how I like to use those particular bobbins. Especially when you have colorful fabric, you can use any color for a bobbin thread. When you have colorful fabric like this, it's a good thing. there, and there. Nope, that's not right. Hold on there. I almost messed up right there. Imagine that. Okay. There like that. That's not right. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute here. Nope, that is right. I'm being a goober. It wants to go right here, that's why. Like I said, I can get easily confused sometimes, folks. Oh, hold on. I'm going to get something to show everybody. Earlier, a few minutes ago, I was talking about my embroidery project of the day. So, this is on flour sack cotton. I made a wonderful little lightweight tea towel with the dill. Isn't that pretty? Check it out. It's got 8 different colors of thread in it. And what I did, I put a water-soluble stabilizer on back. So when it gets laundered, that'll all just disappear out of it. This has been pre-washed, so it really should not shrink anymore. But there we go. This is what I made earlier today. It's about a 28 by 28 towel. It's a big, great to throw over if bread is rising and all that fun stuff. But yes, so I got like 10 more of these to make, each one with a different herb on it. Okay. Excuse me. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. I am reading my chat window, everybody. I'm trying to arrange to be in Fairview. I will be there, Vanessa. It's on Saturday afternoon from 2 to 5. I'll be in Fairview Heights, Illinois at Jackman's Fabrics. And then 9 a.m. to noon, I will be across the river in St. Louis at their store. And it's a lecture demo, is what it is. Introducing all the new baby lock machines, and I'll be bringing a bunch of samples that highlights the machines. Okay. And we'll get back to getting this first set of diamonds pieced. I'm going to start by doing the first 2 vertical rows and then sew one together and then see what that looks like. This is going to I humorously thought, oh, well, I'll just piece this whole quilt top today. Well, I don't think that's going to happen, everybody. It's more than what I thought it was going to be. But I'll be on here for at least 2 hours. We're going to see how much of it we can get knocked out. And then we'll reconvene. Let's see here. Next weekend, I'll be having the Quilts in Italy episode live on Sunday of next weekend. Saturday, I'll be out of town. And I'll get that scheduled here on my channel. Like I said, I'm going to be down in the St. Louis area a week from today at 2 different quilt shops, and the name of them are Jackman's Fabrics. Super wonderful. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to go. They do have a wonderful selection of fabric. Gosh, it's going to be a dangerous trip, everybody. I know, because of the one I know there's a store over in St. Louis. It's in West St. Louis. It's actually in Creve Coeur, Missouri, I think is the name of the suburb. Yeah, it is. They had, well, it's been a while since I've been there, but they used to have some awesome garment fabrics in that location. So I'm super excited to go see everybody at both stores. I haven't been there since I used to travel for Quilt. And then I'll be coming back to Jackman's, let's see, I think it's the first weekend in November. We haven't decided what type of a workshop I'm going to do yet, but she's already had me save that date for her. Okay, look at this. Look at this, everyone. That's those entire 2 stacks of my number 1 and number 3 stack are pieced together in this manner. And then we're going to do some more. Then I'm going to go ahead and put them together in 14 in strips of 14 diamonds. And then we're going to see where we're at. Let's see here. As far as, if I do it that way, I'd only have maybe 1 strip at the very end to have to cut for, and that's what we'll do because I can do that off camera. Okay, so let's give that a cut. And I am now going to, where did that little tool go? I just had seen that. Oh well, whatever, it's okay. I'm just talking to myself, everybody. So I'm going to cut all of these apart. Let me see here. Yes. I'm going to cut these apart and put them in a nice, neat little stack. Because I still have to make numbers 1, 3, 5, and 7. I have to piece these 2 stacks together before I can assemble my vertical rows. Yes. I have a wonderful tool to do what I'm doing right now. I'm not sure where it's at. I'm sitting here thinking while I'm snipping these thread, where is my gypsy tool? Because it makes this process go so much quicker. Let's see here. Oh, I would love to be able to meet you too, Vanessa. I hope you can make it. I think they're going to have refreshments at the launch party as well. So it'd be a good thing. It'll be a good thing. Okay, so next, what I just did, I'm going to repeat with these 2 stacks. Okay? Because remember, I'm not piecing the rows to go across the quilt from side to side. I'm piecing it to come from the top down to the bottom is what I'm doing. Okay. So, and these will be in the same orientation because they will fit together like this. This is what I'm after. I've got these 2 pieced. Now I'm piecing these 2, and then I'm going to sew them all together until I get units like this. Is that right? I need 6 rows is what I need of this. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm talking to myself. Okay. Now then. trying to think where that tool I was just telling you, and the sad thing is I just saw it a couple of days ago, so it's really close, and I'm trying to think where it is before I have to do that again on these pieces here. I still haven't decided on my border fabric. I'm actually thinking about doing, since don't have the pretty flowers that Kate has, flower fabric for my cornerstones in my border, I might embroidery something. In the 4 corners of the border. We'll see. Kind of gotten on an embroidery kick. It's a dangerous thing. But it is so much fun to do. I love to embroidery. I find if I just take my time and lay each piece out, rarely do I have to rip out stitches, and I just jinx myself by saying those words. Because I hate ripping out stitches. It's my least favorite thing in the world to do. Okay. Oh, hi, Alexis. Welcome. Hi, Mark. Oh, thank you, Tracy. That was so much fun last year, wasn't it? Oh, I love getting to come back to Denver. I do miss Denver, Colorado, and I was just thinking about Idaho Springs a few days ago, and the natural mineral springs there at the Idaho Springs Hotel. And, oh my goodness. Colorado is a beautiful state, a beautiful place to live. It really is. And you have so many quilt shops in the Denver metro area. My goodness. It is a quilter's paradise. Quilter's Paradise. That's a good name for Colorado. Glenwood Springs. They have wonderful hot springs there too. Everybody, that's a big thing to do in Colorado, is to actually soak in the hot mineral waters at the various hot springs throughout the state. They're all over the state. I think the first hot springs I went to in Colorado were in southern Colorado. They were. And it's in the San Luis Valley, this little place called Crestone, Colorado. But they have wonderful hot springs just right outside the edges of that town. It's just heavenly. One of them there was quite a hike to get to. It was up at 9,000 feet in altitude. And I think from the canyon floor, it's about around 7,000 feet on altitude. But still, it was quite the hike. But when you got to the top, the springs overlooked the entire valley. It was beautiful. Just so beautiful. Ah, memories. Wonderful times. And one thing that valley, San Luis Valley, is famous for is geothermal energy. There's a lot of that in Colorado, much more than I thought before I lived there. Doot 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 doot. Oh, right here, like that, and up and over. So what I'm going to try to get done today, everybody, is get all of my rows made. And then next weekend, I'm going to set them all together. I think between today and next week from Sunday, I'm pretty sure I can get this quilt top completely finished. I think. We'll see. If not, we'll hold it over and do a third session on it. We'll see. It depends whether I do that embroidery on the border that I'm thinking about doing. Which, yeah, I'm probably going to do that because I just have this idea that keeps repeating in my head. So we'll see. I'd only have to embroidery 4 squares for the corners of the border. I am going to try something a wee bit different in mine. Do 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 do. This is how we piece our seams, and I promise I won't sing. I'll stop. You really don't want me to sing, everybody. Trust me. And 2 more to go. We'll have those done to that stage. And come on, you. Come on. There and there. Here we go. This one will be, here we go. Oh, thank you, Molly. Actually, that pattern was built into the Solaris. You can find a lot of really fun patterns, embroidery designs and all, as far as that goes. I was looking on the internet for it, but I just happened to find the Solaris has, I think, 10 different designs in it that you could use to do the tea towels with. They were really small, so I enlarged that one as large as I could get it inside the embroidery editing screen. And I thought it turned out super nice. Even Mike was impressed. So. That was actually one of my used flour sack towels from the kitchen. So I'm getting ready to order a bunch of blanks so I can start making those. And it's just something fun to do. Yes. I used a water-soluble stabilizer on the back of it. And we'll see how this was an experiment. Before I make a bunch of them, I'm going to make sure that they can turn out really good. Really good like that, and easy to get the stabilizer off. Didn't want to use tearaway because it would have been a nightmare to get all the paper off from it from the back of a tea towel. I don't know if tea towel's the proper term for it. It's actually like approximately 28 by 28 inch flour sack towel. Kitchen towel is what it is. Flour sack towel, there you go. I just always heard them called tea towels, so I assume that's the proper word for it. Oh, Molly, that is a week from today. Fairview Heights, Illinois, which is across the river from St. Louis. I'll be at Jackman's Fabrics from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. next Saturday. They're doing a launch party for all the new baby lock machines, and yeah, it'll be a lot of fun and all that. And I think there'll be refreshments, and I'm doing one between 9 and 12 at their Jackman's Fabrics in Creve Coeur, Missouri, which is a suburb of St. Louis. And then that afternoon, I'll be going across the river to Jackman's Fabric there in Illinois. Oh, I'm sure, Sarah. How are you doing, Sarah? Are you healing? Are you healing good? I know you were on my mind a lot this week. I know you had a bad piece of bad luck. Dadgummit. I hope you're not in pain and you're back on the path to healing and recovering from that. Okay, so there's my piece like that. So now, okay, there's 1, 2. Is that right? I think that's right. That's right. 1, 2, and I'm just going to attach these two together right there like that. Okay. So I need 6 total rows of 14. Let's see where I end up here. I know I don't want to put all of these together, I don't think. We'll see. Okay. And then once I get all my rows made, before I sew my vertical rows together, that's when I'm going to press the seams open. That's how I decided to do mine. You can, if you're making one of these, you can stop and press seams as often as you need to, but that's just what I'm going to do. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3. So every 3 sections like that, I need to set one of these aside, because then it'd be 14. So I'm going to set that one up there, and then we'll see where we get. Okay. Count every third one. I'm going to reserve a number 1 and number 3 piece unit. Okay, so that was 1. This would be 2. this will be 3. Like so. This is 3. Okay, I'll set one of those aside. Here, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. There we go. So there's 2 rows. That's enough for 2 rows. Here's 1. And this would be 2. Yes, I'm going to count to myself, everybody. I'm sorry if it's repetitive. This will be number 2. Number 2. And here's number 3. Number 3. Yes, did I say number 3? This is my 3rd unit for this set. There we go. Here's 3. I'll set another unit aside. Right there. 1, 2. Okay, that's half of the vertical rows of that combination I need. There's 3. Now then, I know I won't have enough for all 6. So I'm going to pre-count them now, so I'm going to have to keep calling that number out. 1, 2, 3, 1 to the side. 1, 2. Ooh. Let me think here now, everybody. Oh, wait a minute. So, 1, 2. I'm confused. So I'm just going to stop here for just a minute and count. Because I thought I had more than that cut. Maybe I don't. Let's see how many we have. Wonderful, Sarah. I know I don't like taking those painkillers either. That's not a good time. I try not to have to take anything more powerful than an ibuprofen, but sometimes you just seems like you just have to give in and bite the bullets, so to speak, and do it. Okay. What I'm going to do here is see how many 4-unit sections I have. 2, 3. Oh, I think I'm better off than what I think I am. I don't know. Dadgummit. So now I want to put these together in stacks of 3. So there's 1, 2, 3. Set that to the side. And 1, 2. 3. And 1, 2. 3. Okay. These, I'm not even sewing yet. I'm going to get them out of my way so that does not confuse me. So, that's 3. So, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I am thinking, so that would be 4 rows, right? 1, 2, 3. If, since I'm not making one exactly like in the book, I might make mine just a little bit smaller than the one in the book. Let's see here. So there's, if I do 3 in each one, that would be 12 instead of 14. Let me think here, everybody. 1, 2, 3. I still would want 11 rows. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 6 rows of this. There's 5. I have exactly enough cut to do 6 rows, to do 12 horizontal rows instead of 14, which would make my quilt top 10 inches shorter. Would that work for me? Because this is not going to be big enough for a bed anyway. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Then I don't have to cut up any more fabric, except for my border fabric. So let me have a quick look-see here. I'm just going to change mine a little bit on the fly. Yep. The finished dimensions of the quilt is what I'm looking at here. Okay. 67 by 92. If I eliminate 2 horizontal rows, it would be 67 by 80. And since I don't have this wonderful K fabric for mine, and I'm improvising, that's what I'm going to do, everybody. If you're making one exactly like in the book, you have to have 14 of those 60-degree diamonds in the rows that I am making here. 14. Okay? Plus an end piece on each one to square that off. So if you're piecing this at home, following the fabric in the book, you want to, what I just did here, you want each row of diamonds to be 14 pieces down. Okay? For whatever you're doing for row number 1 right here, you need to make 6 of them. Row number 2 is this one right here. You need to piece 5 of those. Okay? And then they'll set together just like they're supposed to be. And you'll get that zigzag effect going across the width of that quilt. Okay. So yay, that's was kind of driving me nuts. So now I know. Is that right? Yes, that is correct. Talking to myself, folks. Okay, so now I can get busy and sew the rest of these together like I have been, and everything will be kosher. Okay. Everything will be groovy. Okay. Oopie doopie doo. And this is going to make a beautiful little quilt. I don't make a lot of really big quilts, everybody, simply because I like to make a lot of quilts, and I do have I tell you, we have a king size bed, and it takes a really big quilt to cover that thing up, and then it's super heavy. I actually keep more than one quilt on the bed. I would like to put 2 smaller quilts on the bed. So basically each person has their own quilt as far as that goes. And these are the perfect size for that. Don't get me wrong, I do make big quilts, and I quilt a lot of big ones for folks. Okay, keeping on, everyone. Just keeping on. Do 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 do. Okay. Come here, you. Here we go. Been busy making samples for upcoming classes and workshops and events. Woohoo! It'll keep you busy. Lots of fun though. I like making samples. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna be one of these short. I wonder if I've got one, if I missed one. Oh, I see one piece of fabric. I got 2 pieces of fabric hiding on me, I think. Imagine that, right? Because I'm 1 unit short to make, because it should have all came out exactly even. Okay. I see one piece over here. What that is? Well, there's one. Now I need a little herringbone one. Let me see here. No. I bet it went to the floor. I've been moving stuff around. I gotta find that piece of fabric, everybody. Let's see here. Hold on. Yes, I can always cut another one, but that one fabric that I'm missing. Oh, is that it? Is that it? No, it's not. Where are you? Okay. Let's see. Looking for a fabric piece, everybody, that's decided to hide on me. Maybe it's with my other fabrics, my other stack of fabric. I bet it's stuck to one of these right here. Let's see here. Yep, there it is. Da. Da 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 da. Okay. So. Okay, so I had to trim these to put those together. There, and there. And then it'll come out even. When I was cutting all these, I had exact amounts of each one. And that's how I know that I was short. Okay. And then we'll sew these two together. Right here. Then I should have 6 stacks of 3 of these units right here. Is what I should have. So let's see. It's 1, 2, 3. More. 1, 2, 3. There should be 3 more here. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Now I just have to sew those 6 piles together, and I will have 6 vertical rows out of 11 finished. Well, except for putting on the end pieces. We're going to do that too. Okay, so repeat them like this. Come here, you. You're not wanting to cooperate with me. Be nice. There we go. Sometimes you gotta tell that fabric to play nice. And then usually it'll decide to behave itself and play nice. You know I'm being silly, right? Okay. Okay. There is one entire row. You see what I did there? Check this out. See how it just repeats continuously. It's a 4 fabric repeat all the way down. Okay. So there's one of them. I had to make 5 more of these to go. Only 5 more to go. See, I didn't use as many different fabrics as what the pattern in the book called for, so it was throwing my row count off as far as and I didn't want to make it longer because it was already pretty much at my limit on length, which was 92, and I'm fine with it just measuring 82 long. Now that's a measurement with the borders on, of course. Okay. Everybody, this is the first time I've had my straight stitch plate on this machine. I better remember it's on there before I go back to do something else or I'll break a needle. How many of y'all have done that? It's usually why I don't put the straight stitch plate on, is because I don't want to forget and then end up breaking a needle, because I'm good at doing stuff like that. But it's all good. It's all good. Here we go. Okay, there like that. Hey puppy, what you doing, Bobo? I hear you click-clacking down there. Where's your baby? Go get your baby. No, you want a nap? Okay. Who's my good boy? And my little dog is walking around underneath the sewing table. Who's such a good puffin? Yes, who is? Who's a good puppy? Yes, Daddy loves you. You're my good Bobos. Yeah, so there's 3 out of 6. So check it out. Woohoo. Yay. 3 more to go, and I'll have over half of my rows will be completely pieced. Yay. And this is what I'm going to use to fill in each end of those vertical rows with. Check it out. And that will go on there, right there, like that. Right there. Okay. Oops. My machine came unthreaded. And it told me it did. Oops. That's right. Needle up. There we go. And now we'll give it another go, everybody. There we go. Like the second time the best. Second time was the charm that go round for that seam. Okay, that was number 4. I got 2 more to go. Yeehaw. And like I said, once I get all these rows made, I am pressing all of these seams open. I will not be doing that on camera, everybody. So my stopping point is when I get all of these rows made and ready to press. That's where I'll stop at tonight, whenever that happens. My big ironing board is in a different room that does not have camera access yet. So, hence, I won't be doing that on camera. There's that one. And one more to go on that. One more set of 3 of these to put together. Yeehaw. And see that partial bobbin, that leftover bobbin I had from another project? It's just now getting to the point where it'll have to be changed shortly. But yeah, that's what I do. You might think, you might look at a bobbin. The next one I put in, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But that's why I like to have a lot of bobbins, because if I'm going to wind that thread, I'm not going to just unwind it and throw it away. If I could possibly use it somewhere, because quite honestly, then it just becomes, oh, well, that was a waste of energy and time. And yeah, so you know what I'm talking about there. It's a good thing. Waste not, want not. There's always a way to find a way to use some thread. Do the same thing with long arm bobbins, as far as that goes. Okay, so I have 6 rows. 6 of these are completely done. Not completely. Next, I'm going to put these on them. And we'll just get that done next. Let's see here. I am going to take a short break, a 5-minute break, and get some coffee. And when I come back, we're going to put these end pieces on each end of this row. Because then it will square off the ends of these. It'll be nice and square up here. Okay, it'll square that off, that triangle will. Okay. You put up my Be Right intermission time, everybody. Everybody, this is a great time to get up and take a break. Thank you, Jackie. Let's see. Well, let's see here. Let me read these comments first. Tracy. So no, it does not have any of the zigzag stitches grayed out. However, it does says turn off the machine before attaching or removing the needle plate, because I just touched a stitch that would require the zigzag plate. So it will not let you select a stitch other than a straight stitch with the straight stitch plate in. It does not gray them out. It will gray out stitches for digital dual feed foot. Yes, Vanessa. And both the Solaris and the Altair, they both come with straight stitch plates, just so everybody knows that. Okay, so we're going to take an intermission, everybody. Be back in 5 minutes or so. Okay, everybody, I'm back. I had to make me a cup of coffee. Lord, I needed some caffeine, folks. Okay. Alrighty. So where we're at, I've got 6 of these strips made. Let me swap back to my other camera. There we go. 6 of these made, and we're going to put one of these on each end of it to squirt. These are my rows right here, my vertical rows that go from top to bottom. So let's see here. That one will fit right there. Let's check that out and see how that works out. So there's how I've layered that on there, okay? If you look at that side, you can see it has a little dog ear, about 1/4 of an inch. When you fold that up, I'm just going to finger press that up for right now. But if you notice, now it's squared off the top end of that. Pretty cool, eh? I think it is. And I'm just going to put one of those on each end of these 6 strips. That's my next step, and then we're going to work on the other 5 rows that we have to piece yet. Okay. Okay. There. I'm just taking my time and making sure do your best to not stretch this fabric, because both of those are cut on the bias and it will stretch out of shape super easy. So just let the machine pull the fabric through, and you just guide it through the machine, maintaining an accurate 1/4 inch seam all the way through. It'll come out just perfect. There we go. There's that one. See how it's made that nice and square? Right there. So that entire strip has now got both of its end pieces on. Okay. And while I was making coffee, I found, for our next go round here in a moment of strip piecing, there's my thread cutter I was looking for. So I'm just going to put it right up here so it's staring at me and I won't lose it again. Okay. There's that one. Everybody, I will sew 2 of these rows together, even though it's not pressed, just so you can have an idea of what that looks like in case you're moving right along on your journey of making this quilt top with me. You won't have to wait till next week to see how to do that way. I hope that made sense. But the next step is even easier than all of this. It will require pinning. I'm going to pin the long vertical rows together when I sew these. Okay. Here's that one. Bobo. You're doing a lot of walking under there, mister. You're doing a lot of sniffing down there. What's up, Bubs? What you doing, Bobo? Okay, and there's 2 of them done. You can see right there. See how nice and easy that all sets together? Okay. Oh, thank you, Tracy. My best advice I can give anyone when it comes to buying fabric is this. Find a designer that you love and collect a lot of their fabric. Because like whether it's Kaif or Tula, their fabric lines, whether it's an older fabric line or one of the new ones, all the fabrics will work together. The fabrics in what I'm using to piece this quilt top are from like at least four different collections from Tula Pink. Right there like that. You're being needy tonight, honey. Got another hour or so to go. Another hour and a half. Then we can go watch TV. Come here, just a minute. Okay, everybody, my little dog is having a fit for me to pick him up. So I'm gonna sorry about this. Come here, Bobo. Come here, come on. Here we go. Oh, you're a big boy. Yes, who's a big dog? Look at your picture right there, look. Look up here at the camera. Look up here at the camera. Say hi to everybody. Yes. Yes, you're getting your attention. Yes, you are. You're such a good boy. Mr. Licky. Yes, you are. You're a good puppy. Daddy loves you too. Yes. Okay. Here you go. Good Puffin. He likes his attention, everybody. Goodness. Oh, you bring me your baby? He brought me his baby, everybody. Check it out. This is Puffin's rat baby. Okay, he talks to it. He gives it baths. It's his -- toy. There you go, bud. Get that baby. Go get him. Okay. Now then, let's get the rest of these done. Here we go. Okay. So a quick quality check. Okay. Goodness. You give rat baby too many kisses? Is that what it was? Huh? Puffin has discovered French Bulldog videos here on YouTube. And boy howdy, he loves to watch those. That makes his day to bark at the TV, let me tell you. He wants a little French bulldog brother or sister, I think. Or an English bulldog. I'd rather have a smaller dog if we're going to get another one like a Frenchie, but we'll see. Oh, thank you, Tracy. I'm kind of biased on that. Yes, he is adorable. Little Puffin is almost 9.5 years old, and yeah, he's almost 9.5. He'll be 10 years old next May. The little puffy dog. He's such a good boy. Yes, I'm talking about you. Yes, I am. Talking about you. He knows when this camera's on, everybody. He knows when the cameras are rolling. Okay. I think I have one more of these to attach these end pieces to, and those will be actually completed. Yes. Okay. No, these little dogs, I tell you what, they are definitely our fur babies. Puffin is not happy unless he is snuggled right up against you at night in bed. And if it's cool, excuse me, everybody. During the winter, oh no, he wants to be under the quilt. Not on top of it, but under the quilt. Yeah. Yes, I'm talking about you. He has given me the eye. Oh my God, he has given me the stink eye. He knows I'm talking about him. Yeah. Okay, guess what, everybody? Those are complete. Those are all complete now, and I think, yes, woohoo, now I get to make 5 rows. 5 I need out of this. Let me think. 5 rows of these. Right? Right. Right. There's 6 of those and 5 of those, according to the pattern. Of course, I think I'd have enough to put on, enough for a whole additional row, I think, if I wanted to. I'll think on that. And I might do that. That'd definitely make it a squarer quilt. We'll see. Okay. So these have to go like this. The last one went like this, but these go the opposite. I'm going to make sure before I even sew one of these on. Yes, it's going to go right there like that. See that? That will attach right there. So there's row 1. Rows 1, 3, 5, and 7. 1, 3, 5, 7. Wait, there is something off. 1, 3, 5, 7. Is that right? 1, 3, 5, 7. Wait, there is something seriously off here. I have 6 rows here. That's right. Those 1 vertical rows. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. That's supposed to be 11 rows. Yes, that's correct. Ooh wee! I thought I had messed up there for a moment, but no, all is good. All is good. Oh, wonderful, Sarah. I love his fabric too. It's all my two favorite lines is Kaif and Tula. It's happy fabric. Okay, so these will all go. This is my even numbered stacks 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so we're gonna do these two first. Right here, it's gonna go like this. And hopefully I won't get these reversed or anything. If I do, I will have to rip out stitches. We all know how I feel about that. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to make sure I have done this right. Hold on. That is correct, yes. Okay. It's there. And this goes here. Like so. Boom, 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 boom. That is correct, yes. Puffy, puffy. It's too early, puppy. Get your baby. Go get your baby and I'll throw your baby so you can chase it. Where's your baby? Okay. Get your baby. Get it. Get your baby. Go get it. He's already just about over fetching his baby. But, okay. But he will squeak it for us. It's actually the only squeaky toy we've ever bought him that he's not destroyed the squeaker in it. Oh, Tracy, he has his own little puffin quilt. Trust me on that. I made him one out of Minky. No, he has his own quilt. Trust me. He likes a Minky and fake fur to sleep on. I actually have a king-size fake fur comforter that we put on the bed in the wintertime so he can be a happy little camper. And it's really quite warm as well. Do-do-do. Hello. You're being talkative tonight, mister. Okay. Jay, go get it. Go get it. Oh, he is really feeling he is really wanting me to play fetch with him. So I just threw his baby for him to go chase again. He's probably wondering why we're not upstairs watching TV. We've been doing a lot of that, me and Puffin has here lately. Okay. Puffin also likes Planet of the Apes movies. He gives me plenty to watch and bark at on that one. And here we go. We're keeping on, everybody. Here you. Get it back under there. Excuse me. Give me a drink of my coffee. I am now piecing my last 5 rows. May end up being 6. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to keep it at 5. Simply because I just think it'll look better with an odd number. It'll just look better with an odd number going across. Getting close to the end of this fabric, these 2 stacks. And just like before, I'm going to piece these together in units of 4 diamonds and then set 3 of those 4 units together to make a 12 diamond row. And remember, you piece these rows vertically, not horizontally, before you set them together. I am going to test sew 2 of the finished rows together to see before I go and press. Sometimes with diamonds, because they have a bias edge, it's better not to press, but we'll see. The more pressing you do on a quilt top with a lot of bias in it, the greater the chance that some seam lines are going to get wonky on you just from the stretching of the fabric. Always something to take into consideration. We'll see. here, woohoo, are all the pieces of those two fabrics I have cut. Okay. Now then, I'm going to use my little, it's called the Gypsy Quilter Cutter. And check out, it's got two slots in it right here. There's a razor blade down here, and what it does, it snips thread in between pieces. See how easy that is? It just makes, if you're doing a lot of chain piecing, it makes this process go so much quicker. So much quicker. If you like to chain piece, you need one of these gizmos, let me tell you. See how much quicker that was than using scissors like I did before? What's that? What's up with that? Oh, I see. Hold on. Something's off right here. It's just the way I may have to redo something on that one. That doesn't look right. What's up? What's up, Buttercup? We should be okay. Wait a minute. No, it's not. I set that one together wrong. I got to rip that one apart. Oopsie. That's right. I think the others are correct. That's correct. And that one's correct. But this one is not correct. I sewed the piece onto the wrong side is what I did, because it should have went that way. That piece should have been sewn right down here. So, hence, let me get my seam ripper. I'm going to rip that sucker out. And Lord knows where that's at. I might be able to use these little scissors here. Okay. I'm going to try to do it with these. If I can get it started. There we go. This is those K. Buckley scissors. Wonderful scissors for, especially to, if you have to rip out seams on a serger, you really need a pair of these. I love those little scissors. They're serrated, very sharp. They hold their sharpness. They're a good thing. And with all these angles, that's one reason I moved my stitch lengths to 2 millimeters, simply because I knew if I had to rip, if I have it down to the 1.8 or 1.6 I normally piece at, those are a pain to rip out. Okay. Almost done with that. There we go. Okay. Now let's give this one another go. Yes, right here like so. Right there like so. Okay. Much better. So as just a reminder, that's how those will go together here. Right there like that. And actually, if you just hate pressing seams, these could nest together. Right there like so. just so you know. So, long story short, if you want to press your seams open, press them open. Or you can just sew it all together and give it a good press after you have all your rows and stuff put on. Totally up to you. Okay, now we have these two stacks to sew together. The same way as this one here. I'm going to open this so I know the direction of my angles to go. Okay. So that will go there. And that one will go right there. And now we're just going to sew these two stacks of pieces together. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Gonna get it done. Hoo hoo hoo. Okay. As you can see, they're just fitting in ever so nicely. Ever so nicely. And I have to be honest with everyone, normally I do not press a quilt top until after it's all pieced together. It really depends on whether I want to quilt one in the ditch or not. If I'm going to quilt in the ditch, I want my seams pressed open. If I'm going to nest the seams together, I normally don't press them at that point because they nest better if they're not pressed. At least that's what I have found anyway. It really depends what kind of piecing you're doing as to how aggressive you might want to press and use an iron. Well, I'll be happy to see it done as well, Tracy. At least the piecing part anyway. Now, when I quilt it, I don't know, because that first quilt I finished from this book, the Stone Log Cabin, I'm actually going to order CAF backing fabric for that. I really like it, and it's really going to quilt up beautifully. And I've been getting quilts together for my trunk shows and stuff like that, and I quilted a couple of small quilts this week, I have to put binding on them yet, but when I do in-person events, I always give away one of my little quilts to some, like for one of the door prizes. So this next Saturday, I will actually be giving away 2 quilts, one at each location. Since it's two separate events at 2 different locations. If I do a 3-day event workshop somewhere, I give away 1 quilt to one of the lucky attendees. It's something I have started doing since I went back, started teaching in person again from COVID. Since this pandemic thing. Oh my goodness. Boom, 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 boom. Don't know how I'm going to quilt this one. The pieces are big. So I don't know. I haven't decided how I'm going to quilt this one yet. I just haven't decided. It might get my little vining pearls, perhaps. I don't know. I really won't decide how I'm going to quilt it until it's actually in the frame to quilt. Okay. Almost got these pieces knocked out. It's a getting there. It's a getting there. Looky there, the last two units on this one to sew together for this little set. That one and that one right there. Alrighty. Now we'll get these all clipped apart. Oh, hi, Kim. How are you doing? Yes, everybody. Kim is my neighbor, actually. She lives in the next town over. Whew. So my next step will be to sew these two stacks that I just created together. And then I'll have strips of 4 diamonds, and then we'll sew those together, 3 strips to a unit, and that should end up with the remaining rows for this quilt top. Oh, Kim, you're a good quilter. You do very well. Okay, so let's see here. So there are those. But see, isn't that a handy little tool? That's what it looks like, everybody. And it actually has a little screwdriver, a little tool here in the bottom of it to take this apart to replace the, all it is like a razor blade. That's all that's in there. Super easy to do that. Okay. So now we got these 2 stacks to sew together. You're like this. You make sure. Nope, it goes like that. Right? I'm going to make sure I am doing this in the right order, because it would not be fun to have to go back and rip these apart because they weren't in the right order like I intended. So let's see here. They're like that. Right. Yes, right there. That is correct. Okay. And now we'll do all these things. Can't believe that bobbin has lasted this long. Because it was probably a third of a bobbin, if that, when I started. Whew. Okay. They're like that. Right? Yes. Yes, everyone. I keep making sure I am not getting these switch turned around or anything, because boy howdy, that's something to be right up my alley to do. That's for sure. Keep on keeping on, everybody. This is how we make our quilts. Oh, thank you, Kim. What Oh, Kim, what are you hoping I have at the shop the next time you come? I'm confused on that. Um, Downtown chat. Roger here, and hi, Roger. I appreciate showing how you are carefully as a new person to sewing. Well, I tell you what, Roger, every time I sew something, or I teach a workshop somewhere, or a class, or whatever, I've been doing this a very long time, and I always learn something new myself. That's just the way it works. You are always learning something new. So, the most important thing to remember when sewing whatever you're going to sew, is to have fun. Don't stress about it. Because I tell you, if you're not having fun sewing, you're not going to stick with it. And sewing should be fun. It should not be stressful. This is your time when you're sewing to just kind of zone out and kind of meditate. And yeah, it's a great tool for relaxation. Now, that being said, we all know there are times yeah, it's not relaxing because we're under a deadline, an internal deadline, trying to get something done for somebody, and that can make it a little bit stressful. But it's all good. Just remember, have fun when you're making your quilts, because that's what it's all about. Alrighty, keeping on, everyone. Okay, Kim, I do have two of these in stock, so I will set one back for you, Kim. So whenever the next time you're up this way, it'll be here for you. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, come on, I messed that up. I know how it goes. Let me get it started, then I'll straighten up the rest of it. When I'm starting off on the seam, now you could go and pin all this down if you wanted to, but once I get that first part of the seam done up here, and I always stop with my needle in the down position, that holds everything in place. Looky there. It's not going nowhere. It's like having a third hand. So it's always a good thing. See, I just get it started, then I can position all my raw edges together and keep on going. Oh, Alyssa, this is made by the Gypsy Quilter, and you're going to see me use it here in a minute. There's a razor blade down in here, and when you're chain piecing, this is the fast way to cut all your chain piecing apart. It's much quicker than using a pair of scissors, and I'll show you how to use that here in just a moment. I'll use it to cut all these apart that I'm sewing together. There. on keeping on. Ooh, there's that. And this one will go there. Ooh, we're getting that down close. 3 more units past this one, and we'll have this step done. Excuse me. Well, I got that folded up. Hold on. Get under there, you. There we go. There we go. Yeah, this little gizmo right here, it is a handy dandy little tool. If you like to chain piece, you really need to find one of those and use it. It will change your world if you are using any type of scissors or thread snips to cut threads in between chain piecing. It makes a very fast streamlined process out of chain piecing when you use one of those. One more to go. One more of these. Come here, you. There we go. All right. So here we go. Now we're going to use this little tool from the Gypsy Quilter. Notice those notches right there. You see those? Yeah, there we go. You put your thread down there, there's a razor blade right here, and it cuts the thread. Watch. So nice. Here we go. Cut. 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 But you can just really build up some speed. Maybe have I have actually had a chain of stuff piece that's 100 cuts, okay? And boy howdy, your hands get sore with a pair of scissors having to cut threads in between that much stuff. It's just a way to better utilize your time at a sewing machine if you have a lot of repetitive tasks. That is where chain piecing comes into play. It's a little technique that that I learned 40 years ago when I sewed in a sewing factory. We used chain piecing techniques to increase productivity. Okay, so now there are those. Now I want to sew 3 of these units together. Okay. And I need at least 5. I think I'm going to end up with 6. So and that bobbin is as good as empty. I'm just going to go ahead and change it because I just noticed it. It was about ready to beep at me. Everybody, check that out. Pretty much gone. There was like 10 inches of thread left on it. And let me grab another bobbin. I have another. That one doesn't have a lot of thread on it, so I'm just going to use up that thread next. Excuse me. Where are you at? There's the end of that thread. If I can get a hold of it. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to sew that seam down. And we're just going to make our units of 3. Each one of these rows I'm doing now will have 12. I'm having 12. But if you're following the book, you will have 14 diamonds per vertical row. Okay. So there's that one. Okay. Then all I have left to do to this, I will put one of these on each end of that to square it off. But I'm going to wait and do that at the end. Going to wait and do that one at the end. Because I should actually come out with 6 of these rows. And I'm probably going to make mine one row wider than what it calls for in the book. Since I'm making it shorter, that will help. I think that's what I'm going to do. So any picture, any quilt pattern you have, you can alter it as you go, like I'm doing, if you want to, because it'll just make it a little bit easy. Sometimes it just helps, because maybe you're wanting to do something a little bit different than what's in the book. And it's okay to do that, okay? Don't be afraid to experiment and actually make a pattern in a book, your own. You end up doing your own thing, and that's a good thing, okay? But there's nothing wrong with making exactly like it is in the book either. That's also a good thing. Okay. Now then, it's this little seam right there. There we go. So there's one row, one vertical row of 12. Right there. Cool. I'm just going to set this over here. I'll set my bobbins up here because that one did not have nearly as much thread on it as the other one I used. Okay, that's 2 I've got done. Oh, you're welcome, Melissa. Okay. And that'll be another row done once I get this one on there, except for putting the end caps on. Another one, that's another one. 1, 2, 3, yes. Alrighty. And we'll do another one. We're going to make them till this whole stack is made into rows. One more unit onto this one. That'll be done. That row will be almost done, I guess will be what I should say. Because until the end cap pieces are on, it's just not completely done. I think that is 1, 2, 3. That's 3. This is 4 vertical rows. The next one will make 5, which if I was following the book, that's where I would stop. Since I'm kind of doing my own thing, if I have enough for 6, I'll end up with 1 extra vertical row than what the book called for. And a good thing about when you do follow the piecing exactly in the book, that book will tell you exactly what length to cut your borders, and since I'm deviating from that, I will have to measure my quilt top before I cut my borders for this quilt. Okay. Come on, you. Come on. There we go. There we go, right there. That looks good. Okay. Tracy, next weekend, everybody listen, if you're cutting out, I will list it on the in my YouTube channel. If you're subscribed, you'll get notified. However, it will start at 12 noon on Sunday. If I do it on a Sunday, I will do that at 12 noon a week from tomorrow, okay? But I will definitely let everybody know that's subscribed to the channel, and I will post it in my Facebook group as well, the invite, so you'll know. But you can plan on 12 noon Central Standard Time a week from tomorrow to be Sunday the 14th for the next session for this. Okay. 1, 2, and 3 right here. Okay. But I'm almost done here, everybody. I've got end caps to put on these, and then I am going to sew one of each of these rows I've just created together, so you can have a look at that before next week. Okay, there are those. Okay, now all I have left to do is put these end pieces on each end of this row that I just created. Okay. Give me a drink of my coffee. Oh, you're welcome, Tracy. Okay, so like that, yes. One on each end, everybody. Just so you know what we're doing here, check it out. Lightly finger press. You have to be careful. This seam is 100% on the bias, and you don't want to be stretching on it or it will ripple on you. But there we go. See there? Okay, I got 12 of these to put on. That was one, so 11 are left. Here's the ones I have to do yet, and these are done. And we'll get his little production line going here and whip these out. We'll just, oh, hold on a second, I see something. Is that right? That is right. Hold on. Sometimes I kind of freak out when I see this. That is correct, yes. Okay. Good grief it. Okay. Keep on keeping on. Yeehaw. Let's see. Next weekend, I will be in the St. Louis metro area, Jackman's Fabrics. The following weekend, I'm going to be in Austin, Texas. And I'll make a bigger announcement about that on this next weekend here. Upcoming shows. I'll be teaching Palette 11 out in Austin, Texas. And then when I get back from that, the following week at home, I think, and then I'm doing Baby Lock Tech in St. Louis. I have an incredibly busy schedule this month. Okay, there, that one's done. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. And that one there. Keep it on, everybody. We're getting there. We are getting close to having our steps done for today. Do, 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 do. Making sure my raw edges are all nice and aligned. Okay. And this one here. Okay, that one's done. Let's go to another one. Only got 2 more to go. Is that right? 1, 2, 3. I got 4 done. Yes, I will have 6 rows. So I am going to make my vertical row 12 vertical rows instead of the 7 it called for in the book. That's just the way it's going to work out for me. Just the way it's going to play out on this quilt top. That one done. That one is done. And I have 1 more to go. Woohoo. And then I will have all of my rows completely pieced. None of them are pressed yet. I'm going to do one with one. I'm going to set 2 rows together without pressing and see how it goes and just how important it is on this particular quilt to actually do the pressing. I know the quilt police, there's some quilt police out there that are cringing as they're hearing this. I know. I'm sorry. However, sometimes I have better results when I piece it all and press at the very end once the quilt top is completely made. You know, it just, sometimes it just works out that way. What can I say? Although I do think this particular quilt would greatly benefit from having all the seams pressed open. Okay, so there we go. 12 rows pieced in under 3 hours. Pretty cool. Okay, so next I am going to attempt, just so we can see what it looks like, I'm going to put 2 rows together. No, look here how that lines up. See that? So if I wasn't going to press them open, I would just nest those 2 seams together. What nesting is, seams go in the opposite direction, so the actual seam line butts up against each other. These down through here would do equally as well that way. See that? So, all that being said, I'm just going to give it a go and see what the heck happens here. You know, sometimes if you happen to don't have a lot of time, sometimes you can save a lot of time by not pressing until the quilt's completely finished. The quilt top's completely done. So I'm just going to go now and butt seams as I feed through. This, everybody, the quilt police would say I'm cheating right now, and I am. But it's okay. Okay, here we go. Look how easy that goes together, everyone. Now, if these were being set together for like a tumbling block with Y seams, you would never be able to get it to fit without pressing seams. But since it's not doing that, and there are no Y seams, even though we're using 60-degree diamonds, this is why it's able to do this without pressing. And I am tacking off under, I am tacking off at the each end of this. When I do rows, I do back stitch. Now let's check this out. The first 2 rows in our cool zigzag quilt. We ready? Here we go. Look at that. And now those, I'm telling you, the seams match perfectly. No pressing, everybody. Not for the squeamish at heart, but I tell you what, in my opinion, this does not need to be pressed. Regardless of what the book says or anybody else says, it would lay a little bit flatter if the seams were pressed open. So that's going to be your decision for your quilt. For my quilt, look at that right there. Look how perfect that came out. Isn't that awesome? And that's only because of the pattern pieces, everybody. That's why. And I do my best to maintain a perfect 1/4 inch seam throughout. Thank you, Tracy. Nothing wrong with a little improv, right? And there we go. So, everybody, that's what I have for you for this episode tonight. Isn't that beautiful? Check that out. And this will be repeated 5 more times across. So this is the sides of the quilt here. And the way I've done it, I am going to sew it all together in 2 units like this, and then I'll sew the 2 together, so there's 4. You get my drift there. And I'll end up with 12 rows going across. If you're following the book, it would be 11 vertical rows. But since I did something a little bit different, I'm actually going to have 12 rows instead of 11 going across. Now, once this is all pieced and everything, I will go over and give it a good press so it stays nice and lays nice and flat. I know, Sarah. I know they have one out for me. Probably the Quilt FBI is after me because I like to think outside the box. I can tell you. And I originally was going to put this really dark Tula pink fabric here, but I think that just kind of looked, the way the borders are going to be done, this would have looked, I think this was a much better choice. Here is what I had originally cut for those little end pieces. Well, this dark purple with the ladybugs. So, how that would have looked, check it out. It was my what I had a choice of was either this one or these right here. And while those are pretty, that's the only place I would have had that dark of a fabric in it. And it would have just looked bizarre, in my opinion. So I opted for this. Now, any scraps I have left over, like these little end pieces, I will keep, and they'll be marked in a Ziploc bag because I can tell you, I will be making more of these quilts because this is super fast and easy to do. Oh my goodness. I like it when they're fast and easy. There's the top of that. You can't even hardly, I'm looking at the screen, you can't even hardly tell. Wow, that really turned out well. Check that out. You can barely tell there's a seam right here. It just worked out that way. Isn't that cool? Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. I will be back for the next episode of Quilts in Italy. Will be a week from tomorrow, beginning at noon Central Standard Time. And when we come back next Sunday, I'm going to finish this quilt top. It will be completely done when we get done. Oh, you're fine, Mia. So everyone, have a wonderful Sunday. Have a wonderful Saturday night. I will see you all next weekend. Some of you that are coming to my events in the St. Louis area, I will see you this next Saturday. How awesome. I can't wait to meet you all. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for coming in. Have a wonderful, glorious day. It's been fun. It's always real, and it's always fun. Love each and every one of you. Have a wonderful week. Bye, everybody.